How can teachers help students with anxiety succeed? If you want to learn more about this topic, check the link below. If you're an educator and you witness students who are suffering chronic anxiety, which means they just can't get rid of the worry, there are a large number of tools that you can use, particularly using the Dr. Buzz method. One of the things I highly recommend to educators is to explain to students exactly what anxiety is so they can gain a little bit more control of their ability to function. If they understand the worry and then they can tie it to what is causing the worry, what is the actual trigger, students have a greater chance of feeling achieved and in greater control. We want to be good listeners as educators to our students, particularly when they're worrying. Often as adults and educators, we find ourselves telling students what to do more than we're just listening to them. So having really good, effective listening skills when a child is worrying will work best for that student. We want to avoid using statements like, you just need to calm down. You just need to stop worrying. Or, you know what the problem is? You worry too much. And a lot of times we say those things because we're worrying for the student. So we want to use words by giving them a call to action. Why don't we both slow our breathing down? Maybe you and I could take a walk. What if I reduce the workload so it doesn't seem as much? How about if I help you with the first few problems to get you started, and then maybe you'll feel more confident in your work? We want to create a predictable structure where the structure is the same every day. As much for some students, that might sound boring, but for students who have anxiety, it's predictable. There is no unknown when you have a reliable and predictable structure. We want to create a reset for the students. Reset we can do for the entire class, but really benefit the students who are suffering with anxiety. So for example, hey everybody, we have 10 minutes left to class. Why don't we all put our pencils down, put your arms up, take a deep breath in through your nose and slow out of your mouth. Hey class, why don't we do this 2 more times? Science shows that if you take deep breaths through your nose for at least 3 seconds and exhale for an average of 3 to 6 seconds, will calm your body down and help get rid of anxiety on the spot. Cognizance tools, my favorite. Ask students, well, what is it that we talked about that would help you if you're feeling really anxious? That brings students back to being mindful about what they should be doing, because when people are anxious, they only worry about what they shouldn't be doing or what's going to happen to them. And the last one is, let's catch students when they're using the coping tools that we gave them and let them know that we caught them doing the right thing. Many times, students who suffer anxiety, we only give them attention when they're having an anxiety attack or when they're really upset, where they're feeling extremely worried. So what we want to do is reinforce the fact that you can actually be a student who's using your frontal lobes successfully and not be worried. If you're an educator and you witness students who suffer a ton of anxiety, which means they worry and they can't control their worry, it's so important that you use any of the Dr. Buzz method tools, to include sharing with the students what type of coping skills they can use, by reminding the student how well they've been doing while offering them ideas for coping, like taking a deep breath, going for a walk, or grounding themselves by reminding them where they are and how safe that classroom is. And we can also remind them of the structure they have through the day by asking them and using their cognizance skills, which is, what is it that we do when we're feeling this way? By using these different types of cognitive behavioral tools, which I call the Dr. Buzz method, you can help almost any student who suffers from the dreaded anxiety issues that they experience.